It's believed that the European colonizers brought Christianity with them to Africa, and that's how Africans became Christians. However, it's little known that Christianity existed in Africa about 500 years ago, before the Catholic Church was established in the 1500s. The Ethiopian Church existed in the 3rd century AD, and the earliest Christianity began in even 1 AD in Africa. However, what existed before Christianity? Even though people know about the different belief systems and religions of Europeans before Jesus Christ, little is known about the beliefs of Africa before Christianity. So what was the African religion before Christianity? What did they believe in? And what was their concept of God? Welcome to a new episode of Black Afric Diary, a channel where we talk about Black African history, culture, arts, and civilization. It's a place where you will see the real picture of Black Africa, its stories, and the events defining it. In this episode, we will tell you about the religions and belief systems that existed in Africa before Christianity and are still present. Let's get started. Before Christianity made its way into Africa, diverse indigenous African societies had already established sophisticated religious beliefs and spiritual traditions in Africa. They embraced concepts of deity and divine presence. African religious beliefs spanned a broad spectrum, ranging from monotheistic notions like the worship of a single supreme deity, as seen among the Dinka people, to polytheistic systems where reverence was directed towards multiple gods and spirits, such as the Yoruba and their worship of Orishas. These belief systems often blended cosmological narratives with creation myths that explained the origins of the universe and humanity. Traditional African religions, before the advent of Christianity, were deeply rooted in animistic beliefs. Animism is the belief that objects, places, and creatures all possess a distinct spiritual essence. This belief formed the core of many African spiritual practices, where worship was directed towards deities, nature, and ancestors. In many African societies, tutelary deities were at the center of the belief system. These were gods or spirits believed to protect and guide particular people, places, or things. Often associated with specific aspects of life like agriculture, fertility, and warfare, these deities were thought to influence daily life. People performed rituals and made offerings to gain their favor and protection. Nature worship was also central to traditional African religions. Rivers, mountains, forests, and animals were revered as they were believed to be inhabited by spirits. This form of worship recognized the contact between humans and the environment, emphasizing the need to respect and live harmoniously with nature. Sacred groves, trees, and bodies of water were common sites for worship and rituals. It's quite profound that the people of Africa were so genius that they had developed this philosophy. They knew whatever they saw and touched was the representation of God and had spirits. They could see plants growing, the sun and moon coming and going, and water raining from the sky, understanding that all of them were nature. What's more, ancestor worship was at the heart of many African belief systems. Ancestors were seen as intermediaries between the living and the spiritual world, providing guidance, protection, and blessings. They were honored through rituals, offerings, and ceremonies to ensure their continued favor and support. It was believed that ancestors remained spiritually connected to their living descendants, influencing their fortunes and well-being. Traditional African religions also included a belief in an afterlife, where the spirits of the deceased continued to exist and could interact with the living world. This belief was comparable to other traditional or natural religions around the world, such as Japanese Shinto or ancient Greek and Roman religions. The afterlife was often seen as a continuation of one's earthly existence, where the spirits of the dead could offer guidance and protection. Some belief systems had a pantheistic worldview, acknowledging a supreme creator god alongside other gods and spirits. In pantheistic systems, the supreme creator god was recognized as the ultimate source of creation, but was often seen as distant and uninvolved in daily affairs. For example, the Yoruba religion acknowledges Olodumare as the supreme being, while venerating a host of deities who manage various aspects of the world. Others followed a purely polytheistic system, worshipping numerous gods and spirits, each with specific roles and attributes. These deities were actively involved in the lives of their followers, and were approached through rituals and offerings. The ancient Egyptian religion, with its pantheon of gods like Ra, Osiris, and Isis, is a prime example of a polytheistic belief system. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Traditional African religions also incorporated elements of totemism, shamanism, and the veneration of relics. Totemism involved a mystical relationship between a group of people and a specific animal or plant, seen as ancestral symbols offering protection and guidance. Shamanism involved the practices of spiritual leaders, often referred to as shamans or diviners, who acted as intermediaries between the physical and spiritual worlds. These individuals possessed special knowledge and abilities, such as healing, divination, and communicating with spirits. They underwent rigorous training and initiation, learning to use natural herbs and other mystical skills. Traditional African religions were primarily based on oral traditions rather than written scriptures. These traditions were not just religious principles, but a cultural identity passed down through generations. Stories, myths, and tales played a crucial role in preserving and transmitting these beliefs. The community, family, and environment played roles in personal and communal religious life. Religious practices were deeply embedded in social and cultural contexts, emphasizing collective participation and harmony with nature. This communal aspect ensured the survival and continuity of religious traditions. Spiritual leaders and priests were essential to the religious and spiritual well-being of the community. They conducted rituals, offered guidance, and maintained a connection with the spiritual world. Mystics, healers, and diviners played crucial roles in healing and divination, often believed to be chosen by ancestors or gods. Ancestor spirits were believed to maintain a spiritual connection with their living relatives. Most ancestral spirits were considered benevolent, offering guidance and blessings. Negative actions by ancestral spirits were often seen as warnings to correct one's path. This belief emphasized the importance of maintaining a harmonious relationship with ancestors through rituals and proper conduct. Polytheism was widespread across ancient Africa, with the belief in multiple gods and spirits being a common theme. However, there were exceptions, such as Pharaoh Akhenaten's monotheistic Atenism in ancient Egypt, which was short-lived and later reverted by his successor, Tutankhamun. High gods, along with other specialized deities and spirits, were common in traditional African religions. These beliefs highlighted the complexity and richness of ancient African spiritual traditions. Research suggests that some African religions had monotheistic concepts before the introduction of Abrahamic religions, though these differed from the monotheism of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Traditional African medicine was closely linked to religious beliefs. The use of natural herbs and spiritual healing practices was common, with traditional healers often seen as chosen by ancestors or deities. These healers played crucial roles in maintaining the health and spiritual well-being of the community. Traditional African religions often shared similarities within specific regions. For instance, Central African religious traditions in countries like the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, and Zambia involved ancestor veneration, land worship, and regional or shrine cults. These regional similarities highlighted the shared cultural and religious heritage among neighboring communities. But what were rituals and religious practices? Before Christianity reached West and Central Africa, religious practices revolved around communal ceremonies and divinatory rites that induced spiritual experiences through trance-like states. These rituals often featured rhythmic drumming or singing, facilitating a meditative trance known as ash or nyama. In these altered states, participants embodied deities, ancestors, or specific energies through ritual movements or dances, deepening their awareness and connecting with spiritual realms central to their cultural beliefs. Rituals in traditional African religions were diverse and elaborate, involving offerings or sacrifices of animals, plants, or precious items to honor deities and spirits. These rituals aim to align human actions with natural rhythms and cosmic forces such as lunar cycles, seasons, and agricultural patterns. Divination, whether through consulting divinities or using sacred objects like bones or cowrie shells, played a crucial role in discerning the will of spiritual entities, helping believers address life's challenges and make significant decisions. The natural environment profoundly influenced religious beliefs and practices, integrating phenomena like rain, sun, stars, and celestial bodies into cosmological frameworks. For instance, in the Serer religion, stars like Ynir held deep spiritual significance, guiding agricultural practices through divination ceremonies that predicted optimal planting seasons. Another focus of Africa's religion was Ubuntu, rooted in Nguni Bantu languages, which embodies the essence of humanity across diverse African cultures. It is often translated as, "I am because we are," or humanity towards others, reflecting profound philosophical insights. In Xhosa, it signifies a universal bond of sharing that connects all of humanity. While interpretations may vary among ethnic groups, Ubuntu fundamentally emphasizes that an individual's authenticity is inseparable from their relational, communal, societal, environmental, and spiritual contexts. In traditional African religions, virtue is tied to fulfilling communal responsibilities. This includes respecting elders, nurturing children responsibly, practicing hospitality, and embodying virtues such as honesty, trustworthiness, and courage. Morality often revolves around obedience to divine guidance, as seen in the Kikuyu belief where Nyai, the supreme creator, communicates through lesser deities to inspire virtuous behavior and guide personal conscience. Interestingly, despite adopting other faiths, many Africans have preserved their traditional customs and religions to this day. Do you think that the traditional religions and beliefs in Africa were intentionally marginalized by converting Africans to other religions? Isn't it fascinating that people of Africa held sophisticated beliefs even thousands of years ago? In the comment section right below, share your thoughts on the fact that Africans had reached the concept of God before anyone else. But despite this, Europeans say they are the ones who civilized Africans. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.